Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast.
If you don't make mistakes, you won't learn.
With your host, Corey Winfield.
You know how fish is bad is you can't put it on pizza.
And special guests, Justin Burke.
I said something about that to our master radio broadcaster, and he said that he didn't hear nothing.
And Mitchell O'Brien.
I think to introduce people, we should tell them a little bit about ourselves.
Got your ass.
It is the 10th of July, 2024. My name's Corey Winfield.
I'm Justin Burke.
And I am Mitchell O'Brien.
And Mitchell O'Brien, to introduce myself. Mitchell O'Brien. How you guys doing?
I burked it that day.
Yeah, you did.
Whoa.
That's what we call it. Mispronunciation. There's no way that's a word. It's called burking it.
Dilapidated.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm done with you guys already.
You actually had me questioning one day. I'm like, is that really how you say it? I'm like, no, it's not. And I had to say it over and over. I was like, oh, yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah. So how you guys doing? You good? You sober still?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing good. I'm feeling way better today.
Good.
Yeah.
You had a headache or something. You had some migraines.
I had a migraine on, I didn't even remember, Friday, Saturday, something like that.
Damn.
Maybe it's Sunday. But either way, it just kind of hung over into the other days. So I was talking to somebody else that has migraines. They're like, yeah, it's called a migraine hangover.
Whoa.
You hear it for a couple. You're going to have it for a couple days. You're going to have some brain fog. And I was trying to fast for health and spiritual reasons for the last week or through last week. And that's kind of carried it over. And I was eating minimalistically. And then I don't think my body liked it, is what was going on. Because I ate some meat yesterday, and today I feel great. So,
well, I hope that the religious part of that still works for you. Because now you're eating beef again.
yeah, I gotta eat that beef.
Yeah, some religions don't allow beef. Some religions don't allow pork.
Right?
Yeah.
Some religions don't allow fish.
Everybody has their own.
What?
Yeah.
Fish is accepted at all religions.
Not the one that I'm practicing.
It's the shellfish.
And then that one. And then some don't allow you to eat goats. And there's another religion that only you can eat goats. I'll make this stuff up.
We're going to have to fact check this guy.
Fact checkers.
Maybe I do make it up, but who knows, man? There's lots of religions and lots of things going out there. Whatever works for you is what I suggest that you do. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that's working out for you. Myself, I had to switch to a different diet of foods. And I'm not saying I'm on a diet. I'm just saying
Just eating healthier?
yeah, the cake at Costco, they have this bow tie cake. And it's so good. It's the best cake ever. It's the only cake I'll eat. And it's so good. And instead of just throwing it out, there's a little sliver left. Marnie puts it in a Tupperware container and then sets it right on the top shelf over to the left. So you open it to get milk or anything, bread, all my chicken. There it is. Just, hi, Corey. Yeah, so
Your
sugar.
wife's so thoughtful.
I got to stop eating sugar and for real. And since I've been on this new eating habit thing, I eat a bowl of oatmeal in the morning and some wheat toast with some no sugar jelly, which I prefer. And I've not felt nauseous all day. You guys heard me complaining for months, probably. I don't even know how long. Probably a year. I don't know. And I'm sure my whining and complaining this is up another level.
I just ignore it anymore.
I felt like it's been doing better.
Yeah. So I think the whole key, and because I was like, well, I just won't eat breakfast. And that wasn't really the right way to go, because then I'd get here and I'd start feeling nauseous and I would just start shoving anything in my mouth. And then we have snacks here at the office that aren't something that I should eat. So, I don't know. I was telling you in the kitchen here in the office that I feel less bloated. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, here's why. Because sugar bloats you.
There's science behind it. I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, well, clearly.
You can't believe everything you see on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, this was a tangible science experiment where they took different, beakers in a laboratory and put there's this kind of acid that simulates stomach acid. Then they put different kinds of proteins and sugars in it to signify different kinds of foods. And then a balloon on top. And different foods react with the acid, and like sugar makes a lot of gas and it would blow the balloon up. And that's why you feel bloated inside.
Yeah. So that's what he told me. And I said, yep, that sounds about right, Mitchell.
Yep.
I didn't have to see it on Facebook. I believed what he said because I feel less bloated and I don't feel nauseous. And yesterday I forgot my sandwich. My lovely wife made me a chicken sandwich and she cut up some fruit and I forgot it.
I remember you saying that.
But I didn't go crazy. I wasn't all like, hey, I'm starving, food, like I would do before. So I think it's working out, but it's that starting out is the hardest part of it. And I've talked about this many times in this podcast, and it's the same thing, man, with changing your life, with drinking or using drugs. It's different at first because it's difficult because you're changing and you're not getting what you want. Like, obviously, I want to be around in 30 years for Parker. I have a son. I want to be around for 30 more years. You know, that'll put me at 75, 76. Sounds cool. If I can live a few more years after that, that's even better. But if I don't change the way that I'm eating and change these things, I'm not going to be that. So that's long-term what I want. When I open the fridge and I see that cake, that's short-term what I want. And you have to battle that. And it's the same thing with people that are using drugs. And yes, alcohol is a drug. They open the fridge and they see that beer. Oh, I want that now. Now, they do have a long-term goal. A lot of times people don't. But they might want to be around to be a grandpa. Who knows? But if that is something that they want to achieve, then they have to look at that beer, look at that drug, and go, you know, maybe I should not do that. And it gets easier every time I open the fridge to go, nope. And on the other side, because we got like them double door things, is fruit. You know, so I just need to open the other door and look at that way. And
I think you should not have the beer in your fridge.
Or maybe,
okay.
maybe take that little sliver of cake that your lovely wife put in your side of the refrigerator next to all your stuff.
That's not my side.
And just put it in the trash.
Isn't hers?
And just put the container in the sink, and she'll never know.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay.
We don't have room for this kind of negativity.
No, we don't.
In the podcast.
What do you mean negativity?
Just throwing away a piece of cake.
Marnie can have cake. She can eat those. That's her cake, bro. She didn't put it aside for me, but it's taunting me.
Oh, she did.
It's taunting me, but she might want it. So you trust me, Marnie throws stuff away. Like, she's the queen of it. And
so when she leaves something there, it's very intentional. And you're not on your conspiracy theory of what's happening anymore.
Yeah, you're not on. She's trying to kill you with all these sugars.
With the diabetes,
right?
Well,
that's what I was getting at. Like,
but here's the thing, though. It's my choice. I can't blame. Like, in joking, I can say she's trying to kill me because it does appear that way. But I'm the one who has to pick up the fork and the spoon and eat it. You know, I have that choice. She's not tying me up in the basement, shoving cake down my throat. Not that that's a fantasy or anything, but you never know. A little ice cream. Just dribble it down my chin. Maybe try to lick it off. Like, I want some of that. But I'm just saying, it's my choice.
I really wish I wasn't such a visual person.
To eat the ice cream, to eat the cake, to eat the pie, whatever's there. It's my choice. So I have to make that choice every time. Just like if there was a beer in there, which there wouldn't be. There's no alcohol in our home. There are people who marry people who say they're in recovery and they'll marry someone who's not in recovery.
right?
Kudos to them. You know, Bob, the guy who painted our home, was like that. He's like, yeah, my wife has a bottle of wine. I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I would drink it one day. I could sit here and tell you that I'm the strongest person and I can resist everything. And no, one day I would drink it. If there was a bottle of vodka in the freezer, I would drink it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I would. I guarantee you. So that's why there's no vodka in there. And that's why when I was looking for a person that I could marry, I wasn't looking for someone who was not in recovery. And it's just not fair to them. you know, for me, it's like not fair for me to tell Marnie you can't have that cake around. She can have that cake around, but I'm going to be stronger, and she better eat it. And that's the good thing with food is it goes bad.
Should we take a bet how long that cake stays there?
I feel like he has more resolve than you do when it comes to
I'm not eating it. It'll be gone before the weekend. She'll eat it or throw it away. But that's her cake, man. So she can do it. But it's not like a bottle of vodka that never goes bad. You know, you can just throw that in the freezer and it'll be there 6 months. And I could be fine 6 months, but that one day, have a bad day, or Justin does something that really pisses me off, or Mitch, you drive me nuts doing something that I'm like, what the fuck? You know, what's going on? Or Kim.
These are
throw
all
her in there too. Or Lil Parker. Maybe he spits up on my good shirt. Or doo-doo's that green, like yellowish.
The vile green.
The one that doesn't come out of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he ruins my good shirt with that. I'm like, ah. But again, that's why we don't have vodka in the home. But the food will go bad. The food will spoil. So that's something that, like, it's just short term. You know, just walk past it, get some fruit. And I still do eat, like, whipped cream. Love the whipped creams. Yeah, I know there's sugar in that, but it's still better than eating
sugar in it. Most of it these days is mostly sugar.
It's like 2 grams of sugar per teaspoon, and I get like a tablespoon and just.
And that's such a low mass thing that it's like 2 grams of sugar, 2.1 grams of everything. Anyways, what I was going to say is, you gotta. What I try to do is kind of change the short term. The short term, we want that slice of cake,
Right.
but also in the short term, I don't want to feel bloated. I want to wake up in the morning, and when I eat high protein, and I do something kind of, it's like a keto carnivore mixture. So high in the protein. The red meat goes really well because I struggle with iron deficiency, and then some grains and some vegetables. And then I do little snacks here or there because it's just not easily obtainable to do that perfectly all day, every day. But I do have a Nutri-Grain bar, and I tell myself that that's grains, but it's sugar.
It's not. There's so much sugar in there.
Yeah, I know.
I looked at that there. I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Like, I can only eat the little popcorn.
But when I do start to eat more on that diet style that I've chosen, I wake up the next morning and I feel stronger. I feel better. I have more energy. I don't have any brain fog. Like, it's just all these different things. That cake sounds really awesome, but I'm going to have gut issues. I'm going to feel bloated. I'm going to feel lethargic, fatigued the next day, and it sucks. There's an analogy there for when I was drinking too, because it was the same choice. Mm-hmm. But that's my sober people problems.
But the other day you said that you didn't have that guilt with it, because I had the guilt, the fact that, like, I feel guilty that what I'm doing to myself will affect my family. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the guilt part of it. You know, the shame is just like, oh, I'm fat and people are going to call me fat and gross or whatever. Like, oh, I feel shame that I ate that. Why did I made that bad choice? So I would feel both of those, and you were like, nah, I don't really do that. But you just feel bloated.
Yeah,
so
I think
you're like, nah, I don't feel guilty or shame. I just don't like feeling bloated.
I think I need to work on that. Because I think I should feel shame for that. But I was so unhealthy and about to already die that I am so much more healthy now.
You're just like, shit.
That I'm like, there's a margin for error in there.
This cake's not going to put on 300 pounds today. So,
I mean, it takes 2 days to sugar, you know.
That's what I heard. Yeah. But I don't know. It is affecting me to where I feel better every day. So I think that's a good choice that I made. And I think the hardest part of it is over with just that, man, I want that. And we have like little Hershey chocolate things around, and I'll pop one in my mouth every once in a while. But again, I would eat a bowl of ice cream, you know, and it's just not good for you. Mm-hmm. And pie that Marnie would make, and just make bad choices. And even the snacks here, you think, oh, it's just a snack. But when you eat 3 or 4 of them, you know, and then you go home and you have a big dinner and whatever. But yeah, it's just, you got to be, I don't want to say accountable, but you have to be mindful of what you're doing and the end results, and if you really want them. You know, if I really didn't want to be around when Parker was 30, then I can just do whatever I want, eat whatever I want. But you know, I don't have to go to the gym every morning at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I quit doing that.
Obviously.
And I don't, you know, need to like start running marathons or anything like that. But once I can get some weight off and then I'll start feeling better physically, then it'll be easier for me to walk around the block, or if we wanted to go to the park and have exercise hour.
You're actually going to go outside where there's bugs?
In the fall when it's nice and chilly out.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, it was
fun.
it was easy because that was part of my recovery journey. Was, you know, I was so physically unhealthy that I was walking with my peer recovery coach, and it wasn't a lot nicer in the spring, fall, even in the winter when it wasn't super icy on the trail over there. But I feel, and this is gonna sound like an attack a little bit. Obviously, don't want it to.
Well, anytime anything starts out with that, it's automatically what you just said it's not going to be.
I feel if I could walk the Civic Center when I was 450 pounds, that you guys could handle it now.
Got your ass and your parents' ass.
I feel like that was an attack.
I don't want it
At the
to
wrong
be
button.
attacked.
Sorry, it was.
Got both your asses.
That's Mitch.
Yeah.
It really sucked. And you guys we're all heavy men here in this room, but you guys aren't at that stage where I was, obviously. If I'm going to bring it up against you, you got to use my own voice against me. I understand. Yeah, I can. I'll take it.
That was like one of those comments where I'm not trying to be rude here, but
I don't know. I think it was a little bit different.
No.
No, sorry. It's fun to play with drops. But no, as you were saying, what happened with your recovery coach?
He moved to a different agency, and then I followed him to there, and then I think we kind of fell out of touch.
Oh.
So
Did you do that with your recoveries?
only when they don't want to talk to me.
Oh, so you didn't want to talk to him anymore?
No, I did, and we reached out every once in a while, and then eventually, you know, I was talking to him until, you know, into working here.
Is his name Jonathan Boyd or something?
Yeah, he's a good guy. He might have moved back to
Mississippi?
Arizona,
Oh, okay, that's close.
but he might be here. I don't know. We're Facebook friends, and we like each other's stuff every once in a while, and so we're just more like peers now. Well, I mean, I guess we were before, but
Yeah, because now you're a recovery coach officially with the state even.
Yeah.
What's up? Are you allowed to have a recovery coach? Should you be his recovery coach now?
I feel like we talked about that. Should be
You should put him in the RDP.
I know that recovery coaching was like his side thing. He has a business with his wife that they do, a small business. Oh, so it's like a catering thing.
Oh,
And
when you
he
said
was one of the
I thought you were going to
first-
say camera thing.
I want to say he was
Catering.
one of the first state certified ones around Traverse City.
He was one of the first.
Yeah. If I remember right.
Really?
Because I worked at the same agency that he left at.
Catholic Human Services.
Yeah,
Okay,
Catholic
you can
Human
say
Services.
it. We like them. They're good people over there.
I took his role when he left.
Ooh,
Big shoes to fill. They're not actually, not really. He's just kind of a small guy.
whoa.
But Sarah told me like he was one of the first people to actually take the state training when it first came out.
Sarah who?
Hig.
I don't know. Sarah Haig, I don't think.
She's the clinical supervisor over there.
Oh, I've met her, yes. Blonde
Yeah.
hair.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice woman.
Yeah, very nice woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
She really cares about her employees just as much as you do.
really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. I mean, I have no complaints working for them. Now, the other place before that.
Can you say the same thing here?
Yeah, I can.
I got a reminder today about payday.
What to
Just
do?
a reminder, payday is coming up. Yeah.
Oh, you have reminders set in your phone to pay us?
No, it's an email that comes through.
I thought he sent you a message.
No, the program we use. It's like, yeah, about that.
About that.
If I can get around to it. It's like 3 buttons I need to click, but hey, it's tough. Takes a lot of my day up.
It's like, I need to do payroll.
Yeah, it's such a bummer.
Like a 3-day process.
This whole sober thing. This whole sober thing is working out pretty freaking well.
Yeah.
And I would
This
have
whole sober thing.
It's really
your
working
entire
out.
life.
Yeah. It's I mean, from where I was at, to where I'm at now, just spiritually, just I don't know, it's really working out. And it's not just because I'm here talking with you guys today on this podcast, but I mean everything, from being married to having a child, like all these things I've dreamed of and wanted. And, this podcast has over 900 episodes. We have the most episodes about recovery in the world of any podcast, which I still is mind blowing. And
Yeah.
a guy came in yesterday, buddy Tim came in and he was talking to me about that. He's like, I heard something about 900. I'm like, how? You'd have to do this many for this many years. I'm like, yeah, we did 4 a week at one point for like 3 years straight. It was Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, bam, 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 bam.
Right.
And I started it in sober living. And we slowed down recently. We've actually started other podcasts. We have the Recovery Dads podcast. You guys have your White Knuckling It podcast.
Yep.
Mitch, you have your Redacted podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot, and so it's kind of hard to keep up with. And so far, we're 5 weeks into the Recovery Dads, and every Tuesday we deliver a new episode. If you haven't listened to that, check that out. We're probably the same goofy level.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we talk more about dad stuff.
Yep.
At least we attempt to.
I might be a higher goofy level.
Well, the last
Less censorship.
we talked started off about pleasuring yourself and being caught doing that.
No, getting caught.
Yeah. So that was, but hey, that's a parent thing, and so we figured, hey, I don't know how we even got on that subject, but we were there and it was kind of entertaining for us.
I believe you asked Mitch if he ever caught his son.
Oh yeah, because you said you checked in on him and you just opened the door,
Yeah.
What'd you guys
which is like very
do?
dangerous to
Yeah,
open the door of a
yeah.
teenage boy, just
14 years old.
just to peek in.
Right.
Yeah, you guys were like, what did you do for parenting today? And I was like, well, I made sure he was alive and left for work.
And that turned into, have you ever caught your son masturbating?
Yeah.
You ever been caught masturbating? And we all
Yeah.
went through our stories. So recoverydads.com if you want to hear that. It's also on Amazon. I'm not sure what's going on with Apple. I think they're confused because we have a nonprofit account through Apple with all that stuff set up. So I think when I'm trying to publish another one, but you said you got 2 of them published through Apple.
Yeah,
Mitchell.
we use a different platform server than what you do.
Yeah. No, it
Yeah,
keeps telling me
I don't
it was
have
waiting.
anything with nonprofit on ours.
So I don't know. I don't know.
It took a minute. Like, it didn't do it right away. But, yeah.
But I need to get our Recovery Dads on Pandora. Do people use Pandora anymore?
I don't know.
A little bit. It's not the biggest, but
I'm sure somebody does.
because I'm on Pandora.
It used to be big years ago, Pandora.
I know 217 Recovery is on Pandora. We're on everything, to my knowledge. But yeah, so
Wherever you get your podcast.
So back to my bragging montage. So I was telling Tim 900 episodes, or he was telling me blah blah blah, and he's like, yeah, and then he like looked, and he's like, yeah, you have 899. I'm like, no, I got like 900 and something. But it depends on what you're looking at. If you look at Apple, it'll tell you a certain number. But I don't know, some of them I did take down, but only like 2 or 3 because they weren't relevant. Like the guy who went on Facebook and was like F217 recovery, they took down my podcast. I did not take that guy's down.
Yeah.
But most of them I leave up there. But other ones that were like 4 minutes long, like UFAM or something, I'm just like, nah, let's just take that off because I don't really want that to count.
Right.
It's not a real episode.
Right. Just a quick little check-in.
I mean,
Yeah.
once you get close to 1,000, I don't think the little ones, like, you can leave them on there.
Yeah, I guess.
When you can be like, I've done 12 episodes and 6 of them are 5 minutes long. Like, yeah. But when you've done almost 1,000 and most of them are 30, 40 minutes long, like, I think you're good.
Yeah.
Or longer.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm reaching, we're closing in on 50 in Redacted.
Nice.
So,
Well, you've been at that almost a year now, haven't you?
yeah, it was late July of last year when it started. And I don't want to even talk about the start of that podcast, but
But you got to start somewhere. A lot of people are afraid to.
Yeah.
You know, you pulling that trigger. They say the first one is the hardest, and that's why I tell people.
people ask me about it, and they're like, "I want to listen to it. I'll start at episode this."
Oh no, they should have definitely experienced the growing pains of your podcast. Because you didn't have a board when you started. Like you started out with the bare minimum.
The bear.
Hell yeah. And now you're on the come up too. And I told you when you first started, you know, you're probably going to have a different partner along the way. You know, like those things do happen. Those things do change, and you find one, and your brother might bail on you one day. Who knows? Like you just have to be ready to roll with the changes and adapt. You know, when I started the 217 podcast, it was with, you know, 2 guys in the sober living home. Then one of them we pretty much kicked out because he was useless. And then Rob relapsed. It just left me, and then Ryan Beckman came, and he was kind of like, he would like always kind of just watch us do the podcast. And so we threw him in there one time, and he said some funny shit. So we were like, hey, and then Rob's gone, and I think we were going somewhere, and he's like, hey man, can I come with you and help you with it? And I can carry the shit too. And I'm like, okay, like sounds good to me. And Ryan just kind of became a natural fit. And then when I left the sober living home that I was managing with Ryan, you know, some bad things went down there with Ryan, and his true colors kind of came out, and I realized I didn't really want to be associated with him anymore. So I kind of exited him from 217 recovery and moved on and made my wife do it. And then she kind of became the co-host, and now she's just so busy with little Parker and everything. Like I want to do more with her, but it's hard because when little Parker's sleeping, my mind isn't like, ooh, let's go downstairs and get a podcast in. It's like, let's, you know, do that stuff that we can do while Parker's sleeping, like clean the house or something. Yeah, guys, you know what I'm talking about. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, sleep. They say, you know, sleep when the baby sleeps. That's what you're talking about, obviously. Obviously.
It doesn't help the more times you say obviously.
No, I didn't even hit the drop that time.
I know. He just kept repeating himself like an echo.
Yeah. So
they heard. Everybody heard.
It's tough, but you just have to roll with it. And, you know, I'm proud of you guys for doing what you're doing. And are they the greatest podcasts on the earth?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
True that. You know, whatever you want them to be is what they are. And as long as you like it, as long as you're good with the product that's been put out, you know, you get all these guys that like pay for subscribers and all this other stuff. I have no interest in that.
No.
You know, even with Recovery Dads, I'm like, we could do that. But first, we need more than 5 episodes. You know, like we're not at a place where, because that's when we're like, hey, we could really like do something with this and take this on the road and do some fun stuff with it. But
I've done a couple ads on Facebook, but that's about it. You know,
yeah,
I post on X. Sometimes I get around to Instagram. It's more difficult, but I've done a couple ads for White Knuckling It and Redacted.
Yeah,
they got a couple clicks.
I think once we get dialed in with Recovery Dads or where we want it, we eventually want it filmed. You know, we want to do that, but we're going to need a location for that. There's a lot of things and a lot of things going on right now too, so it's kind of hard to like focus on that.
Right.
But we'll figure it out. But once we kind of get it dialed in to where we want to be with it, and once we can get everybody to show up at Tuesday at 8 a.m.
Yeah. That for some reason is difficult.
You got to start somewhere, you know, so we'll start there with that. But with the podcast kind of going how I never expected it, you know, still here, and I wanted it to go this far, and I want it to go till I'm dead, you know, and it probably will. But that's a lot of podcasts, man, if you think about it. But I also said I want to make a movie. It's like, well, how am I going to make a movie? Well, I don't know. Let me research it. It's like, okay, well, I need a script. Okay, well, I need a storyboard. I don't know how to do any of that. But I've been working on it in my mind, writing some things down on my phone. And last night I came up with a script. And I also came up with the idea, too, this was probably about a month or so ago, to make a short film. Yeah. And they say those are not supposed to be over 5 minutes. So I'm like, that's something that could really open the door into, and I could learn a lot from it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so I came up with a storyboard and all that. Last night I put it down and magicked it out, and so we have that, and that's pretty cool. And I think we're gonna film it this fall. Justin,
I can't wait.
You're gonna star in it. Pretty excited. Your first starring role.
Yeah.
Well,
And nervous.
he has that commercial he did.
Yeah, fabulous.
Which, if anything is gonna say star, I would say he was the star of Fabulous.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was the only one in it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
There are kids in it. Parents rushing the kids away.
Right.
That was the best part of it all, man.
bubbles and stuff.
Like when the drone was having problems landing, or it was doing something, I'm like freaking out, and the kid comes over. There's a drone. His mom just comes running over. No, get away from them.
Right. That
Justin's like, "Are you sure you should be wearing this pink boa?" Like, you fine, bro. You fine. Put them shades back on. Put them pink shades on.
The amount of times
It was Traverse City, so it should be widely accepted by now.
Yeah,
Get
you were
back on that swing.
You were Elton John out, but the amount of times I've shown that to people, and they almost piss themselves laughing when you're on the swing, the swing and the bubbles, and there's this random little kid that runs by in the back.
If you haven't seen that video, it's online. 217recovery.com.
F&M Park was just there's nobody there for 3 days after that.
It probably wasn't.
I'm surprised the police didn't come rolling by.
Yeah, me too.
They did.
Who are
While
these
we were
guys?
doing the bear video.
Yeah, that's another funny one. Mitch driving around, with his bear mask on.
People and like, what?
I
What
sent
was
him a picture of it said scouts at the bottom of like a billboard. It said leaf okay to wipe with and leaf not okay to wipe with.
Yeah. And I responded, that's why there's TP in my trunk.
Yeah, he's not going out there like that. He's got at least toilet paper.
Yeah, you do that once and you start putting TP in your trunk.
Yeah, and Mitch reenacted a real situation that happened to him once, but he wasn't wearing the bear mask the first time it happened.
No.
But for his scent, bear, because we were joking, and
I didn't start wearing the bear mask out in public until after that.
yeah, we were joking on the podcast about a commercial and the scent, and if we had scents, what would it be, and blah blah blah.
We still got to do yours.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And the other ones
The
that we
director.
have props for that we just haven't done.
Oh, the Bear 2, the Bear Black version.
Bear Noir is what I want it to be.
Okay. What was yours, Justin?
I don't remember.
It was something.
Oh, we'll figure
But we
it
got to
out.
do yours
Insane.
first.
Tremendous.
Wasn't it booty or something? Or, I don't know.
Whoa.
It was something like it was pretty crazy out there.
Detrimental.
Yeah.
You guys are not kind to
Oh,
me.
wait, no.
I need a mental
Detrimental.
health day.
Well, maybe we'll get to it today.
I want to mention something that you were talking about before,
All right.
where you were talking about doing your movie. And you decided to do a short film instead. And that's actually a really awesome recovery analogy that I talk about, especially with people across the street at the pier when I go there and do meetings. Is sometimes, when you, especially in early recovery, you want the big thing. You want everything. You want it all now. You want to fix everything you've broken. You want your house back, your car back, everything you lost in your country song you want back right now. And like, it's not tangible and you're going to overwhelm yourself. And so I always tell people it's kind of like having a ladder. And if your steps are too far apart, you're not going to be able to reach it. You're not going to be able to climb up it properly. So I think it's really cool that you've decided to do the short film, because it is that it's cutting your goal and your dream into smaller steps.
Yeah.
And you're achieving it still,
I'm still going to make the other movie one day, but
Yeah.
this will, it makes sense, like start with something short, just get some experience under my belt, make a few short films and see what I can do and see if I'm any good at it. And
find out what you need to work on. And it just
what else I need
gets
to
you-
buy.
You're gonna have the assault camera.
Yeah.
But no, but it really does. It gets you. It's one step up that ladder. It gets you closer to the goal of what you really want to do. So
Yeah, and I think just being as a person in recovery, and we all recover out loud, as they say, I think that's good. Not everybody wants to be out there like, hey, I'm in recovery, which for me, it helps.
It helps me too.
I decided to change my life for the better. People want to judge me for that? Okay.
yeah,
But to have dreams and goals and to start achieving them, and then start showing people, like I said, I'm going to do this, and then you do it. And Justin, you've seen a lot of things I said I was going to do, and you see me do it, and you're like, okay, that dude's not playing. Like, it might sound crazy as shit when he says it. You might look at him like, okay, Corey, how are we going to do that? But
I remember 3 years ago, he's like, one day we'll have an office. One day we'll have grants. A year later, same thing. We're going to have an office one day. We're going to have a grant. I just have this really good feeling, Justin, it's going to happen really soon. And it finally panned out.
And look at me. Now I don't just have an office, I have a whole lobby.
One day, Mitch, you'll have an office with a door that shuts. Not next to the bathroom.
I do want to be not next to the bathroom.
No, the bathroom is hell.
That's your second home.
I don't even want to hear it. I have not blown that up as bad as other people in this place.
That's karma. No, but and like you said, Mitch, like sometimes you have to readjust. Mm-hmm. You realize, that goal's too big, or it's so big it's unachievable that I'm just going to give up and run away. No. And that's a lot of times people will do that in early recovery. Like, I want this, I want that, everything that I lost in the country song, I want it all back now today, and it doesn't work that way, and then so you just give up.
Yeah.
And I did that many times, going on my road to recovery, and to be able to like pace yourself, and then you see it and you realize like that goal is too much. Well, here's the better option. I work on short films. I get good at it, and I buy all the equipment that I need, all of it, and another house to store it in. And
we need a prop house.
We really do. If anybody knows a good office, a second office is what we need. Yeah. We need a studio office and then this office.
Yeah.
Or just a big enough office to where it's all in one.
Yeah, we need some capital. Mm-hmm. Anybody knows rich people out there, they're like, man, where can I give this $1 million to? Well, 217 Recovery would love to have it.
Yeah.
For a building.
Out here changing people's lives.
We love our landlord. She's awesome.
Yeah. Right.
But we're just saying, we need a studio, like a movie studio. Not like just a studio office. No, we need like a studio.
I wonder if she'd do all three of these suites and put like a doorway into each of them, and then we can have like studio in the different offices, and one's more for like the outpatient, like the meetings and stuff.
And then we take over across the street too.
Across the street or across the parking lot?
Across the parking lot.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We need a tunnel.
Yeah. We just take over this whole place. Like, how much you want for all of them? Like that studio A, B, C. This is where we film this. This is where we do that. This is where we do this.
217 ABC Recovery.
See, that's Corey's office. Yeah. The whole thing is Corey's office. And we all have our own bathrooms.
Yep, and air conditionings and heaters.
Boy can dream.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. But without dreams and without goals, it gets really hard for people. So, like Justin, I'm sure you tell people, Mitch, I'm sure you do this as well, to tell them to, write down a few things. What are you going to accomplish in a year? How are you going to get there? Because without having a goal, without something you want to obtain, you don't have the desire to obtain it. And everything starts with desire. And sure, you might tell people, I want to be sober, or I want to stop taking pills, I want to stop using heroin or whatever. But do you really have that desire to? Yeah. You need something else that outweighs it.
No.
If it's just equal, drugs win. But if there's something that you really, really want in life, you got to put that on a higher pedestal than the drug. And nobody's having fun using drugs.
No.
It gets to that point where it's not fun anymore. It's a bitch. You really don't like the people you're hanging out with, and you're kind of wondering, how did I get here? Only way to get out of that is to keep using. Mm-hmm. And then you get right back into this funk of just walking through the world blind and just numb.
I did a group yesterday, and the topic was what made us relapse last. To get everybody more engaged. And I shared my last relapse, and how my last relapse really took me 4 years to come to recovery, and what I had to go through, legal troubles and everything. And then I told them all, I was like, but, even though I didn't want to do it, there was times I didn't want to do anything. But those were the times that I had to do something. And those were the times that really stuck out to me. Like, I didn't want to go to sober living at first. I wanted to go back home. P.O. told me I couldn't go back home. So I had to go to sober living. Not like I really had a choice.
Yeah.
And those were the things that I really stressed to him yesterday.
It's like if you were to cut your hand off.
Right.
It's going to hurt. You're going to want the doctor to give you some pills for that so it doesn't hurt. Oh, I'm so bad with analogies. I can see Mitch going, where is he going with this?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to connect the dots.
All right, so if you cut your hand off, you're gonna go. You're gonna get not even to the doctor. Pulled. Okay, you get a tooth pulled. You're gonna want something to help the pain, and it's to mask that pain. It's to cover up that pain. The drugs are the same thing: alcohol, meth, heroin. It's all the same thing. We're masking a pain.
Yep.
And that would be a natural thing to do. If I cut my hand off, I would want somebody to give me something to stop the pain. I wouldn't want them to go, oh, you're an addict, can't give you this. I'd be like, motherfucker, you better give me that shit now. My fucking hand's cut off. I'd be an idiot. But other people might go, oh, no, that's too much for me. But it's just something that is a natural thing to do. So for society to turn into this, oh, you're a bad person, you're a bad person, you're a bad person, is very unfair. And sure, there's pieces of shit in recovery. There's pieces of shit in the world. You can't lump it into, oh, they're a piece of shit, they're in recovery. You can't really lump them in together. There's just people that are not good people. There's people that are great people, and you can't just watch a movie where they're like, oh, arrest him. He's a junkie. Look at him. He's walking down the street hitting people or whatever they do. Getting bad analogy. I know, Mitch. I know. I see your face.
Well, I've read this little short story on Facebook a while back ago. I've seen it a few times on there, and it talked about this church getting a new pastor, and before service started for his first service, he went out in front of his church and acted like a homeless person.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
To see how many of his congregation
and one of them
would help, and not one of them would help.
No.
And it was just really sad, and he walked in there and goes, all you guys should be ashamed of yourselves.
Yeah.
He goes, not one of you helped me out front of the building. And it was just mind-blowing, and he's like, that's not what Jesus taught us in the Gospels.
No.
He taught us to be caring and kind to everybody, no matter where they're at in their life.
Now put your money in this basket. No, your analogies made me think of this video I almost sent you last night, and I was going to be like, we're doing it wrong for the recovery thing. 'Cause it was just this little kid walking down the sidewalk, and then it was from like the 80s or something in a commercial, and this guy comes out, and it's obviously ibuprofen in his hands, but he comes, sticks his arm out of the car. He's like, hey, little boy, you want some drugs? He's like, what? And then this other guy, they're all ethnic in some way too. So that's why it was worse. But opens this door of this van. He's like, want to get in my van, little girl? I got candy. And then there's another one where it was these old white men, I don't know, with bandanas on, offer this kid some, looked like a joint or something like that. And then they're like, no, all together at the end. We're going. And then they're like, roller skating. And it was a roller skating rink commercial somewhere in the South.
No.
And I was like, we need to change up our our advertising.
Wow. That's how bad my analogies are. They're pretty bad.
Right.
When that guy stuck his hand out the window, I was like, that's ibuprofen.
Yeah, there's good people in addiction. There really are, and they just need a little bit of help. They need a little bit of love. Mm-hmm. Like Justin said from the preacher, we gotta show some compassion a little bit. And can we empathize with everybody? No, but I can have empathy for people, who've been down that road of alcoholism. Justin, you can empathize with people who do the uppers. Right. Mitch, you can do alcohol, food, porn, whatever your thing is. I don't know what it is. I'm just throwing things out there.
It's addictive.
But, you know, we can still come to that common point of addiction. You know, even people with gambling disorder, I don't know exactly what they're going through, but I do know that guilt. I know what that feels like. The shame, I know what that feels like. You know, so I welcome them with open arms. And I'm just a 10 grand win away from being
Having my life back.
Gambling addict myself. You know, like if I would have went to the casino and hit that 10 grand, who knows? You know, like,
Yeah, I've never won at the casino.
thank God, right?
Yeah, because I've gone a few different times and I always lose. I'm like, why would I go here to waste my money?
I got
Like,
drugs to buy.
Well,
That's what I thought.
Well, right.
Why would I
got
put this in
drugs
there
to
when I
buy,
could give that to the liquor store? Like,
or, you know, back even when I was fishing all the time, I'm like, I could spend that money in lures and we're tying flies and like that becomes addictive all in itself, you know?
yeah, so it's cameras.
Right.
I tell you.
Like there's
But at least I
healthy
have something.
addictions.
Yeah, at least you have a tackle box full of shit.
Tying
Right.
flies doesn't kill your liver.
No.
Nope,
Nope, not
sure
at all.
doesn't. And at least, you know, I have cameras.
Yep.
You know, I could always resell them or whatever.
It's an investment.
You know? Never know when you're on set how many cameras you're going to need.
Do you have anything from your life of using that you can invest other than the obvious experience? Because we use our experience there every day in our life. But
I got all new stuff after I got
Yeah.
in recovery.
that's what I'm saying.
All new stuff.
I find stuff all the time that are from that time, and I just want to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like, this is worth nothing to me. Get out of here.
When we moved to the mansion in the hills, I threw a lot of stuff away that was just like in bags, some like radio stuff, like autograph stuff. I think there was a Theory of the Dead Man CD that I threw away. It was autographed. I was like, pfft.
Really?
Autographed towel by Seether. I was just like, pfft. I don't need that shit anymore. Like, what is that to me?
Look at
Autograph crap.
Mr. Concert every other weekend is having a hard time with hearing this news.
Yeah.
I know.
You've told us
really
this
am.
before.
But
I
you
know.
just come to a point.
It's always so depressing.
It's like I'm really not trying to be a hoarder, but you know, at one point I'm like, oh, this would be cool to keep, but I've kept it and it's just in a drawer somewhere. I'm like, gonna pull it off. Here, Parker, see their sign this. He'll be like,
Cool.
okay, who's that?
He does his new little internet dance away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is. You know, there's some things you just realize, like, is that important for me to keep? Not really.
You can put it on your wall and put a light on it.
Yeah, it would be called art.
Art, yeah. I used to have it hanging up. The towel I used to have hanging up over at this apartment. I had like this big, I think it was a vent. It was probably something you shouldn't cover because I think it was maybe an air return, and I covered it with a towel at one point because I thought that was cool. But yeah, I don't know. Like all that stuff I just threw away. It's like,
That's a shame.
no, but it's like you realize what's important and what's not. And none of that stuff's important to me.
Right.
And we have stuff, and where I was going is like we have stuff that we've invested in. It's worth stuff. We're doing good stuff with it. And there's nothing from my using life that I can put in that category.
Right.
So,
Well, that'll wrap up today's episode, Mitch. Good job.
thank you.
Way to close her out.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add, Justin, before you?
No.
Okay.
He's like, where'd you throw those? Things on
If you have a problem and you do need to reach out to somebody, feel free. We're available. You can find us online. It's very easy to contact us.
Yeah.
217recovery.com is our website. We have an app as well, and you can find that in the App Store. You can actually also go to our meetings that are here at the 217 Recovery Center. It's very simple. You can zoom in with just a click of a button, click any of the meetings you want to join, and it'll send you right into it. Yeah, very simple. But thanks for listening, and we will talk to you again at a time of my choosing.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen to over 900 episodes on the 217 Recovery app that's free in your app store or online at 217recovery.com.